On Friday, April 10th, 2026, I hiked 11.5 kilometers of the Israel National Trail from Ein Kobi to Tzomet Ora in Jerusalem. I did it by myself, and there were several inspiration points for doing this journey. 1. Seize the opportunity of a ceasefire between Israel and Iran to get some fresh air. 2. Become more experienced with my gimbal. 3. Make some progress on a Jewish year 5,786 goal to walk 20 kilometers of the Israel National Trail. And finally, ride some public transit I hadn't previously been on. Would I be successful? Would the hike have any surprises or mysteries? Come join me and find out. The first quarter of the trail is a steep descent over rocky terrain. It was made even more treacherous as a result of the recent rains. Since this area is mostly shaded, things stay wet a lot longer, so going down had to be done with extreme caution.
It's already been 50 meters and I've fallen on my bum and rolled my ankle, so I need to get the hang of both following the trail and using the camera.
After about 25 minutes of walking, I could begin to see a clearing, which I hoped would indicate the next section of the trail. I was partly correct, but after crossing the road, it was another 25 minutes or so of downhill, rocky climb. Starting here and until the end of the hike were all parts of Israel I had never been to before. Dalet Amot is living up to its name. Finally, a second clearing became visible, and here the terrain changed considerably. After going through a mid-20th century tunnel under historic train tracks, it was time to enter Har Yehuda National Park. Along the trail, there were a lot of nice things to view, including several pelotons, mountain bikers, trail runners, and of course, spectacular views. There were also a few mysteries along the way.
I'm walking along the trail here and I see all of these little stone markers. Where's my hand? Stone markers. And I'm like, what are these? Are these like some ancient ruins or not? Or something? And no, they're just a notice from the phone company that there is fiber optics buried right next to me. But they made it look like it's part of the ancient trail. So I guess that was cute.
Along parts of the way, there were all these terrace walls. Who built them? When were they built? Let me know in the comments. There were also moments of suspense.
See, there's a blaze for the Israel Trail, a bunch of other trails on the rock over here on the left, and the Israel Trail, well, I see it kind of curves to the right, which meant go to the right, because there's two options right now. There's to the right and up this gigantic mountain. I was like, oh man, does the Israel Trail go straight and the other trail goes right? But no, I checked the map, and the other trail follows the Israel Trail, so we're gonna go head up this way.
And different types of motorized vehicles.
Motorbikers.
What was the most difficult part of the trail? It was definitely along this part where a backhoe had driven over the trail and basically completely wrecked it. But the effort was worth the reward, and at the end of this rocky part, I arrived at Ein Lavan, a collection of natural springs on one of the mountains in this national park. This ended up being my favorite part of the trail. Just like a natural spring in biblical and medieval times was a place to rest and gather, so too it was for many other people and me on this very day. It was refreshing to see young adults socialize face-to-face with their friends, and it was comforting to see Jews of all types sharing the resources available there. It is here that I ate my lunch, checked in with the missus, and reapplied my sunscreen for the final 3 kilometers into Jerusalem proper. 40 minutes later, I had made it back to civilization. Originally, the map showed that I would have to take a bus to catch the light rail, but the light rail itself was clearly visible to me from where I left the trail. Even more conveniently, there was a station right there. I hopped on the next train and rode it into the center of town. It was my first time on this section of track, which itself is almost brand new, and it was also my first time on the Kors Bridge on the train. Here are my stats for the hike, and here is how to get where I started from Jerusalem. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to like and subscribe.